is a promising solution. Instance matching is the process that discovers different descriptions of the same object and links them with an all same as link. For example, these are two different descriptions of the same person. The aim of instance matching process is to detect that they refer to the same real-world object, who is the Argentinian footballer Messi, and links them with an all same as link. Traditional systems for instance matching depend on the quality of property matching results, which are not always obvious for the load scenario. In this paper, we propose a schema-free instance matching approach that is independent of property matching results. We transform the instance matching problem to a clustering problem, and we solve it by ascending hierarchical clustering algorithm. In the following, we detail the different steps of the proposed approach. So, after loading source ontologies and extracting their instance data, the preprocessing step represents each instance from both ontologies as virtual document containing the discriminative property values which are specified in a configuration file. The output of this step are the sets of source and target virtual documents. To prepare the input data to the clustering algorithm, all virtual documents are aggregated in a single set. The ascendant hierarchical clustering is the core step of our system because it gives the main part of the mappings between input instances. The obtained mappings are filtered to eliminate wrong mappings and gives the final results for our system. Now we will describe each step of our approach in detail. So, in the preprocessing step, we use the discriminative properties such as labels, dates, numbers, links, etc. to construct virtual documents for each instance. For example, if the following properties are specified as discriminative properties for the first instance, it will be represented by the following virtual document. The same thing for the second instance. So after specifying its discriminative properties, it will be represented by the following virtual document. And the similarity between both instances will be simply computed as the distance between their virtual documents. The aggregation step consists at preparing input data for the clustering algorithm by aggregating all virtual documents in a single data set. In the ascending hierarchical clustering step, each document will initially form a singleton cluster. So, there are as many clusters as the number of instances or virtual documents. Then, the matrix of similarity between all instances is computed, and the closest two clusters are recursively merged in a single cluster until all clusters are merged in a single cluster. The hierarchical grouping of clusters is depicted by the following dendrogram. Before interpreting the obtained results and scaling out similar documents, the obtained dendrogram tree is cut using two specified heuristic rules. The first one, the maximal number of instances per cluster is 2. Then, a threshold value is reached. Finally, each obtained cluster containing two instances is interpreted as a mapping between those instances, and the set of obtained mappings will be filtered in the last step based on some specified filter patterns. Firstly, if both instances of the same cluster are formed the same source dataset, then the resulting mapping will be eliminated. Then, if both instances of the same cluster are from different datasets but belonging to disjoint classes, then the resulting mapping will be eliminated. After that, if one instance from the first dataset has more than one similar instance from the other dataset, then these mappings are eliminated. In the following, we will present the experimental results of our system. So, to improve the efficiency of our system and to enable the comparison with obtained results and to enable comparison of obtained results with those of other approaches, we have conducted experiments on standard and recent benchmark Ontology Alignment Evaluation Initiative 2019 and 2020. We have used the datasets from spin bench ontologies of the instance matching track. The performances of our system are measured by computing Nosql and F-measure score, and the obtained results are presented in the following table. By comparing these results with participating systems in Ontology Alignment Evaluation Initiative 2019, we found that our system outperforms all of them in F-measure score, and it gives very close results to the best performer Reminer in Ontology Alignment Evaluation Initiative 2020. As a conclusion, to integrate data in the log cloud, instance matching is a prominent solution. In this paper, we have proposed a schema-free instance matching approach that is independent of property matching. We transform the matching problem to a clustering problem, and we solve it by ascending hierarchical clustering algorithm. Obtained mappings are then filtered based on some structural information. Our contribution is not complete, and it may be enhanced by other perspectives, such as integrate an indexation technique to scale out primary candidate mappings. This will reduce significantly the number of comparisons and eliminate a lot of unmatched instances. Use contextual information, such as neighboring instances, where instances with similar neighbors are similar. This will detect more correct mappings and improve the F-measure score, etc. Thank you for your attention.
شكرا أستاذة سهام. فعلا يعني within the time لأن نأخذ إذا في أي تساؤلات. If there is any questions or comments from our audience. Do you want to say anything in addition, Mr. Siham? Ms. Siham?
نعم.
Do you have any? هل عندك أي تعليق آخر على البرزنتيشن؟
لا، هذا ما عندي فقط.
نعم، شكرا. هل هذا يعني العرض لبرنامج تجريبي أو هل هو برنامج مستخدم يعني وتم إجراء الدراسة عليه؟
لا، هو احنا we have proposed this system. It's a new system. Yes.
Okay. عندي تساؤل آخر من أحد الحضور. شكرا جزيلا أستاذ سهام.
شكرا
على العرض وعلى التقديم.
شكرا.
ننتقل إلى الآن. We'll go now to the second paper in this session, and it's entitled "A Framework for Online Customer Review System Using Sentiment Scoring Methods." This paper is presented by Mr. Bariz Ahmed وجي يفراج. Who is the presenter? Mr. Bariz, you are with us?
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Bashir Ahmad. I would like to present myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Bashir. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sorry, it's written as Bariz, so that's why I present you are Mr. Bashir. Dr.
No
Bashir
problem.
Ahmed. Go ahead, Doctor. Dr.
No
Bashir
problem.
Ahmed is from the University of Technology and Applied Science in Oman, in Masuna, and you have 10 minutes, Dr. Bashir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarif. So I would like to continue my paper. My paper title is A Framework for Online Customer Review System Using Sentimental Score Method. So before starting, I would like to Before starting, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Bashir Ahmad from IT Department, University of Technology and Applied Science, Al Musanna. So my abstract. So web-based social networking remain spontaneous nowadays. The scenario, that means the users likes to purchase the product through the online. There are large number of individuals want to sell the product or purchase the product through the online. So they want to do the business in the online. So the web users shares their own experience about the product in the social networking sites. So we call the reviewer as a raters. We have sometimes positive reviewers, sometimes we have negative reviewers. We need to identify the reviewers based on their reviewing methodology. So in our paper, we explain the web surveys, how pre-processing, how stop words removal and stemming process has been done. After making that pre-processing, stop word removal and stemming process, we have started to cluster all their reviews based on their K medias. So finally, we have given the overall evaluations based on their scores. We call that as a cumulative scores. These scores shows that which are the users are trusted, which are the users are not trusted. So the introduction is the web users, usually they will participate in the web. They want to provide a feedback and they want to create a interaction environment. Some user will give the positive sense and some user they will give the negative sense. Even though product is good, they have to enable who is enabled in the customers. They want to make necessary decisions to participate in the online feedback sections. Generally, we classified the reviewers into two groups, that is called facts and opinions. What is fact? The entities and events in the world have objective statements. We call as a fact. What is an opinion? They are the particular statement that replicates the people's sentiments or discriminates. So what is our motivation of this research is to design and build the innovative product and product analysis. The main advantages of this process, we need to make an accuracy of the customer reviews. Whoever give the reviews, we need to give that, analyze the reviews based on their feedback, that for the opinion meaning, and we used the sentiment analysis process so that we can classify the positive reviewers and negative reviewers. So we have identified some related works. First one is classification of reviews. There are many authors who work under this category of classification of reviews. So what they did, they demonstrate the duplications of topical terms which is being introduced. So they used the basic correspondence learning BCL model. So he has given the positive and negative, and he supposed to give the supporter vector machines, which is to classify the reviewers. So these are the process. This diagram shows the clusterings of reviews. So whatever the reviews which is been applied in the online, so the reviews are taken as a raw reviews. Then they are classified into positive reviews, negative reviews, and even they have been classified into fake reviews. So these reviews are taken pre-processed. First, they have to be stop word removal and stemming process is being done. Finally, we found the similarity between the two reviews and we classified based on their final statement. So these are the some authors we have been taken as a previous research which is carried by the different authors. So these are the different authors who carried, they used the different methods. Finally, they used supervised and non-supervised and even semi-supervised. So their data sets, what they have taken, some authors they taken as a movie review, some authors they taken as a product review, some authors they taken as a restaurant reviews, and some authors they taken as a Twitter sentiments. So based on their classifications, they used the several methods: SVM, Navy based, and graph based, association mining, rule based mining. They have taken as a sentiment scoring. So for the evaluation, what we are going to do in the evaluation measures, first we need to measure the similarity measures for classifications of the review. So first, there are some numerous informations, which is especially we use the text mining systems for grouping and categorizations based on their quantities between these items. So we used cosine similarity measure. Why we used a cosine similarity measure means these cosine similarity measures will find the closeness between the two vectors of the measurement, between the 2 points. We need to find the 2 points. Suppose one author is giving the positive, another author giving the same negative in another side. So we need to find the two vectors. For this process, we use the cosine similarities. Here we use this formula where this Dij, we are called Dkj is the jth term of Di is the record. So each and every record, we have some range. That range will start from 0 and 1. So next one is dice similarity measures. Here we observe the closeness coefficients files between the two such varieties. When we are comparing with the two documents, which is D1 and D2 are compared, we have taken these two documents to find the dice similarity measures. Next one is Jacquard similarity measures is used here to find the similarity between the two documents. For example, if you take that document, the total number of document which is being integrated with the total number of document between the two documents. The two common words, what are they used in the particular survey, the feedback has been classified according to their number of document which is been retrieved and number of document which is not retrieved. So here for this process, we used to find the exactness of the review, we use the F measure. So F measure will give the precision in the division and the reports that they are important to the client data. So whatever the document which is relevant to that particular product or review, which is being integrated with the retrieved document. So total number of retrieved document we call as a precision, whereas the recall is a segment of document that is relevant to the query that is effectively retrieved in the particular review products. So recall will be precision, recall will be done for the exactness of the F measures. So F measures will be the finally calculated by 2 into precision multiplication of recall divided by the precision plus recall, so that we will get the F measures of this particular product. So finally, we need to find the accuracy. Why we need to find the accuracy? So finally, after reviewing, we are going to make a cosine, we are going to make a similarity. After making the similarity, we need to conclude to find the accuracy of the result. So for making the accuracy, we made the formula TP plus TN total divided by TP plus TN and FP plus FN. True positive and true negative divided by true positive, true negative, false positive and false negative, so that we can able to get the accuracy of the sentiment. So whoever give the positive comments, whoever give the negative comments, we are going to calculate and finally we'll find the accuracy of the process. So from this product, we are going to get what we proposed in the documents. We collected the 9 documents which is shown in the table. So we collected the 9 documents. We classify the documents into 3 files into one group. So these groups will make that will files comes under the each groups. So after making this group, we are going to cluster into the next one. So when we are going to cluster, we use the K medias. What is the use of this K medias? It will discover the K groups in the each questions. Whatever the questions which is asked in that online systems, it will find the K medias for the each bunch. So when we are finding the K medias, we need to find the cost functions for the particular distance between the two documents. So I need to find the distance between the two documents. So I will keep the K as a cost functions here. To measure the participation cost, we took 5 different methods for making the clustering phase. First one is method one is distance plus 1. Second method is distance 2 plus k. Distance 3 is for distance plus k minus 1. Distance method 4 is for distance 2 plus k plus 1. The last one is distance 2 plus k2. So why we are taken this much of method? We need to compare the two documents and we need to find the exact the cost of the particular document for the accuracy. So here we taken the different documents. I explained in the previous slide, we have classified the number of documents into three groups. After making the three groups, I need to find the participation cost. So using this k mediat, I find that this will give the distance between the two different documents we call as a term frequencies. So here we taken the online reviews, so which delivered by the users, we call as a textual form. So we use electronic items, entertainment, fun, sports, healthcare. So in previous, many authors have worked on the movie, restaurant review. So we have taken this field, electronics, entertainment, fun, sports, healthcare. From that, we have taken some reviews from that online. So through that online, we have taken number of reviews, what is going to be occupied. From that, we have classified the steps, which is we used some pseudocode to proceed to classify the documents. So we extracted the audit, we pre-processed the surveys, and we put the scoring statement, scoring the sentence, whatever we have been obtained for based on the reviews. So finally, we analyzed based on the repositioning, and we are given that this method, recommendation method for the final publications. So here we used FIO, FO, that is called sometimes we take that inverter words, and sometimes we taken the words unbiased words. Sometimes we take that intersphere options word pair. Like that, we have classified the documents based on that scoring. So we put whatever the statement which is given by the user. Some users will give this product is good. This product, I feel that camera is good. Like that, the term will be used by the users. So we use the term frequency we want to face. For example, the particular user is giving that recommendation that this product is good, is great, it is happiness to me. Like that, I take that particular word. That word is called great. If the user is given great, automatically I have given the score as +5. If it is they given is poor, if they is given is negative feedback, if they are given is okay, I feel the product is okay. Like that, I feel that what word is giving more precisions. For that precisions, I have given the score ratings. For example, if I give quiet, so I make that intensifier as 0.8. So quite good means then I will maybe divided it bit by 0.8, that is into multiplication of 5, because I have mentioned great is for +5. Like that, I have given a evaluation for this product, and I have given one positive and negative feedback. I have been separated. If it has been fine, I have taken the review for the particular camera, for the digital camera. So I have given this positive score and negative score. By classification of the score, I have been classified into positive score and negative scores. So these scores.
Try to conclude, Dr.
Yes.
Bashir.
Yes, sure. So this my conclusion is, so opinion mining is a dynamic research here where the web user is actively participating in the social networking. So they want to do the positive product, they want to give the negative product. So when they are giving the negative feedback or positive feedback, we need to classify that who is a positive person, who is a negative person, who is giving the fake document. By classification, we can recommend this product to the online, so that every customers can easily identify which one is a positive review, which one is a negative review, so they can able to purchase in the online. So we can eliminate the fake reviewers, and the product can be sold easily in the online. So this study will be giving the opinion for the reviewers across the different time intervals to measure the usefulness and the reviews. So these are my reference, and thank you for your wonderful support and for my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bashir.
Thank you
for your presentation and for your informative review. Is there any questions from the audience? Do anyone have any question? I have one question. The reviewers, are they structured reviewers or public reviewers?
It's a public, open or public reviewers. It's an open environment in the online systems. It is a social media who are giving.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
If there is no other question, we will go to the third presentation, which is on the use of topic modeling in mining customers' reviews. The presenters is شروق فتحي الطير, خلود إبراهيم القيسي, وغالب عواد الرفاعي. Who will present this paper?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I am Shuruk and I would like to present. Okay.
Go ahead, please. The floor is yours. Please take your time. It's 10 minutes.
My paper titled "The Use of Topic Modeling in Mining Customer Reviews." First, I would like to show my outline is I will talk about introduction, the study aim, topic, a brief description of topic modeling, the methodology, results and discussion, conclusion, and further research.
Do you have any PowerPoint presentation? Do you have any slides?
Yeah, I have PowerPoint, but how can I share it?
We open the sharing for you. Go ahead and.
How can I? Oh, okay.
Go down there,
Okay.
sharing, and choose the window. Yeah, sharing.
Okay, now I can share?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't find the link where I can share. Just what should I do?
It's a green arrow down the screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Screen. Yeah. Just I got it now. Now, can you see?
Not yet.
Yeah? You can see that?
Not on my screen, no.
Okay, share screen. Okay.
And then choose the window you are.
Yeah, now.
I think it's coming down, yes. Now we can see it. Go ahead.
Well, our work titled "The Use of Topic Modeling in Mining Customers' Reviews." The outline, introduction, and study aim. I will talk briefly about topic modeling, the methodology, results and discussion, conclusion, and further research. As you know, social media is becoming one of the most influential tools in this century. The user-generated content and the electric word of the mouth are an efficient or an effective way to convince customers of products and services offered online. The user-generated content and text reviews constitute a massive source of information for decision-making. Customers' online reviews are promising and unstructured data sources because they influence the purchasing decisions of other customers. This study proposes the application of topic modeling method called latent dirichlet allocation, LDA, to the task of analyzing customer reviews regarding their experience with meal delivery services to identify aspects of service quality that met customers' expectations and those that did not. This can help management gain insights to provide better personalized services and in order also to improve the business performance. Topic modeling is an unsupervised machine learning algorithm that can be used to analyze, understand, organize, and detect hidden topics in texts to make more informed decisions. Topic model algorithms can be exploited to capture different dimensions from customers' reviews that refer to what they like and what they don't like. And at the same time, what are the items of strength and weaknesses? Topic modeling about identifying what is the common theme that all documents, what I'm talking in this, in my research, all reviews collectively talking about. Latent dirichlet allocation is basically a topic modeling algorithm used to identify hidden patterns and assign topics within documents. As you can see in this, the input for the topic modeling algorithm is the text reviews, and the output is are the clusters, which we name them topics. What are these reviews talking about? Methodology. The current study used an original data set of 1,163 customer reviews collected from the delivery service of 3 fast food restaurants on a platform in UK. The data was prepared using RapidMiner software. Stubwords were removed, and also numbers, punctuation marks. Letters were converted into lowercase in order to reduce differences between similar words. Tokenization was performed to split a string into meaningful words and convert the text into attributes. Stemming was also performed to reduce the number of words and obtain a word stem. After that, we applied the LD technique. The LD technique was applied to detect latent themes in the reviews. The LDA topic analysis allows the extraction of latent topics from the data. There is no prior knowledge about the number of latent topics that might be contained in the corpus or in the text. A number of iterations were performed with different number of topics. Many trials were made, 2, 3, 4, and the optimal result was obtained with 5 topics. Now, results. The analysis revealed that we have 5 topics within the text. What we got here in this table 1, that we have 5 topics, and the most 5 words that were mentioned highly in each topic are mentioned here. So, like for topic 0, which is I mean 0, 0, 0 represent topic 0, the first topic. Food, late, order, cold, time, and time. These the main, the most frequent words mentioned within this topic, and the same are done for topic number 1, topic number 2, 3, and 4, and etc. Now, the themes are referred to as topics, each which is a block of words is accompanied by the 5 most frequent words in each topic. A topic is considered as a probability distribution over a fixed vocabulary. Now, the 5 most frequent words mentioned in the previous table, we took them and we put them in a theme. So because here we had in the first topic, we had food, late, order, and cold. And this we named it, it is a kind of a critique to the order. The order, something was not satisfactory in the order. And here in topic number 2, we had food always hot, delivery good. And this is what, like it is talking about the food quality. So it is a kind of praise for the food quality. Here we have one menu change last orders. So it is about a critique to the service quality. We named this topic. Chicken cold food burger chips. So here it is talking about the main meal or the main thing in the meal. We had here order chicken, naan, sauce, bread. So these are the siders of the meal. So we try to name the topics based on what they mean. Maybe somebody else will have different naming. So these are we can say these are the 5 clusters that we got from the reviews, and we try to name them according to the quality of service or quality of food mentioned in the reviews. As we can see, the extracted themes revealed some problems related to ordering, which indicated that the speed is particularly important for customer satisfaction. Food quality and service quality are among the issues raised by the customers. The temperature is the main, the temperature of the main meal is the issue for the customer also. Conclusion, we can conclude here that LDA topic modeling method was used to capture latent themes in customer feedbacks in order to identify the customer's hidden perceptions and feelings about the meal delivery services. The extracted themes revealed that there are very important variables for customer satisfaction, such as food quality and service, and the food speed also is very important. Completeness of the order is very important, and these are the most mentioned key themes within the customer reviews. Analyzing customers' electric word of the mouth allows management to gain insights into the business process, a product and service. It can also help to provide better personalized services to improve business performance. Further research, maybe we can extend the use of LDA algorithm with a larger data set of customer feedbacks to extract hidden themes. Also, we can also use the LDA method with a data set of customer reviews with different cultural backgrounds, which might highlight different perceptions. Thank you. And if you have any question.
شكرا أستاذة شروق، شكرا لهذا العرض الوافي. Do we have any questions? Is there any inquiries from? شكرا شروق.
العفو شكرا.
ننتقل الآن إلى الورقة التالية التي هي بعنوان A Stable Fault Tolerance Algorithm for Leader Crash in Distributed Honeycomb Network. هذه الورقة مقدمة من دكتور محمد الرفاعي. هو طلب أن نشغل recorded session, recorded presentation. Break, go ahead and start the day, please. ما في صوت. ما في صوت بريك.
تحكي عن distributed systems. بسم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. احنا رايحين نبدأ إن شاء الله في عرض الريسيرش ماي ريسيرش. طبعا عنوان البيبر Stable Fault Tolerance Algorithm for Leader Crash in Distributed Honeycomb Network. أنا محدثكم الدكتور محمد الرفاعي. طبعا كintroduction أنا بدي أحكي عن Distributed Systems are a collection of autonomous computer systems that look to users as if they are one computer. These systems are cooperating to solve a problem that has been divided into multiple computers or processors to do diverse tasks. The coordinator is in charge of overseeing the system, which entails all nodes communicating with one another via various network topologies such as hypermesh, torus, ring, honeycomb, hypercube, and so on. Hardware processors or software processes running on top of other hardware could be used in these topologies. The main aim of distributed system is to improve problem-solving performance by allowing tasks to be performed simultaneously while distributing the load to minimize response time. طبعا الcoordinator في الsystems هاي coordinator node or any link between nodes encounter a failure event. In centralized control, distributed systems need one node to serve as a coordinator leader. The distributed leader election algorithm overcomes the problem by appointing a new leader for the network in distributed systems to handle the utilization of a common resource. Leader election algorithm is the process of picking a new coordinator after the previous one fails. It begins when one node observes the failure and complete its role by electing the leader using the node identification that is appropriate. When one node detects a leader loss, the election algorithm begins and ends when the new leader is elected and all other nodes are aware of the new leader. The interconnection topology of honeycomb torus has n equals 6 d square nodes. Number of nodes equals 6 d square nodes. D is the graph dimensions, and also its edges 9 d square, number of edges between all nodes. This is the figure of the honeycomb network. leader failure. طبعا الهانيكامب توبولوجي مشروح بشكل مفصل في البيبر. الالجوريثم before describing the algorithm defines the following variable to help in understanding it. طبعا في عندي النود states، في عندي بتكون state اما normal the network is normal and this node has identified no leader failure. ما بتعرف بالليدر فيلر. الكانديديت اللي هي عرفت بالليدر فيلر ومرشحة ل to be a leader. Failure has occurred and election process is currently underway within the node. The last state اللي هي leader in a stable network, only one node must hold this state and it is absent after the leader fail. طبعا the suggested algorithm is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 where the node that discover leader failure examines its location and transmit election messages to link 1 when it's on one of the x1 axis circle, link 2 when it's in the x2 axis circle, and link 3 when x3 axis circle, and the node enters in a candidate state. Okay, this phase is explained in details in the paper, inside the paper. Phase 2, when node 1 - d, 0d, complete phase 1, it transmits an election message across link 2 and compared candidate IDs from nodes at the end of rings who have complete phase 1. In phase 3, the new leader becomes known to the last node in phase 2 when the election message arrives, and it then broadcasts the information about the new leader to all nodes by sending a leader message. Final performance evaluation, we find that the number of messages big O n to the power 1.5 and the time steps big O square root of n. This equation, the details of the sub-equations for all phases, E for messages and time steps are described inside the paper in section performance evaluation. For future work, this work could be improved in the future to deal with the intermittent or complete connection failure in dynamic algorithm, and academics are looking into leader election techniques in various topologies like Hive and hypermesh networks. This is our paper, and this is our work. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you for the presentation and for keeping the time. Is there any questions for Mr. Mohammed? إذا ما في أي أسئلة راح ننتقل إلى الورقة التالية، وأيضا مستر محمد أحد المشاركين فيها، وهي بعنوان Databases as Services, DBAS Challenges and Solutions. مقدمي هذه الورقة الدكتور محمد الرفاعي، هي المجالي، أحمد فوارة، وهايل خفاجة. ايضا الدكتور محمد طلب ان هذا ايضا ان نستخدم البري ريكوردد presentation for this session. So Greg, go ahead please and play the pre-recorded presentation.
راح نبدأ في البرزنتيشن المتعلق بالبيبر اللي تحت عنوان Database as a Service, Challenges and Solutions. طبعا أنا الدكتور محمد الرفاعي، وهاي المجالي أستاذ الدكتور حامد الفواعري والدكتور هايل خفاجة، هم مؤلفين الأوثرز لهذا البحث. نبدأ طبعا في محتويات هذا البرزنتيشن. راح يكون introduction عن الداتابيز as a services, التشالنجز for database as a service اللي هم unavailability, interoperability issues و confidentiality. بعدين solutions لهذه التشالنجز، بعدين conclusion، وأخيرا future work. طبعا the cloud services have become one of the trends in the IT industry. The real idea of cloud computing is to satisfy the client without increasing infrastructure operations and cost. It's easy to use, cost-effective, less infrastructure and configuration costs. It has almost a zero maintenance, low operational cost, and less effort. Using a cloud service to deploy database is known as database as a service, which become one of the most used cloud service with time. طبعا database as a service and the cloud database market is one of the fastest growing software as a service, expected to grow more and more by this decade. Data warehouse and database vendors have joined established cloud providers in offering hosted versions of their software, enabling customers to leverage the many benefits of cloud computing for their applications, data storage, search, and access needs. Like any new trend in IT, database as a service faces many challenges at the forefront, like security, availability, and interoperability. To overcome these challenges, this work discuss them and provide solutions to use database as services in an efficient way. طبعا in database as services, database administrator will not be worried about heavy traditional technical issues. The role of database administrator will be reduced. He will just define the requirements in the contract, and the cloud service providers will take it over. Database administrator will just notify the service provider about these changes, and the provider will do the database administrator wants. The great advantage of database as a services or cloud services in general is the financial issue, as the cloud service adopts pay as you go model. This means that the client will not be charged for the time he doesn't use the service. Usage of a public or private would be more cost effective depending on the nature of business, whether it's small, intermediate, or huge business. Challenges. The first challenge is unavailability. As you know, all the cloud service providers say that they guarantee 99% availability, which looks pretty good. But what about the remaining 1%? The huge risk of unavailability is that the database is not under the control of the client. Therefore, the client can do nothing. In a private cloud, things would be easier to handle as the services are under the control of the client, even directly or indirectly. So dealing with this situation is more likely to deal with the classical data center. Solution for the unavailability. One of the solutions on the service provider's side is the typical data redundant method, which is a good enough solution if the database server is damaged. Then the web server will redirect to the alternative database server. This solution led failure scenarios to be more manageable. Another solution is to clone the database over a local server on the client side. This clone will still idle but up to date with data and used in emergent cases like unavailability of the cloud service surely will cost the client, but still as a plan B for similar cases. The second challenge is interoperability issues. The scope of interoperability in database services refers to the links between different clouds and the connection between these clouds and the organization's local systems. The link between clouds or between each cloud and the local system is considering service interfaces, configuration, authentication, and authorization, data format, etc., in order to communicate and interact correctly with each other. Vendor look and surely make the client uncomfortable and frustrated because he cannot do his work freely and fluently. This could be occurring when the client is using database as a service. In such a cloud from one vendor and using software as a service from another vendor, in this case, what would the client do? For example, if one organization has two systems and two database HR systems like HR systems and ERP system, each system and its database is deployed on two different clouds. How should these two systems interact with each other? The main cause of the lack of interoperability is that every cloud may use different API, and these APIs are not standardized. So if an API fit for one cloud, it will not be fit for another cloud. Third challenge is confidentiality. Data confidentiality is the biggest concern for the client due to any type of data loss or leakage would cause financial and customer loss to the client, especially for the client who has sensitive data. The main causes for data loss in the cloud are insufficient authorization, authentication, and security mechanism. Therefore, cloud service providers must take into account security and privacy in the first place. Encryption as a solution. Encryption aims to ensure that a third-party cloud service provider cannot access the data. The encrypted data is inaccessible unless by the person who has the key, who is the client himself, not even the service provider. By encrypting the data, one of the threats will be overcome, which is an insider threat, where an internal intruder who wants to break in the data, but simply he cannot because he doesn't know the key. Data go through three different states: data at rest, data in motion, data in use. The solution for data at rest, transparent data encryption, and data in motion, transport layer security. We have transport layer security, data in use, client side encryption. The details for these solutions and for the graph is founded in the paper. As a future work, find the new solutions to overcome unavailability rather than the proposed solution where these solutions could not be applicable and efficient for all of database as service clients or database as service providers. Also to take into account the data migration issue by providing a standard framework. Finally, build a model to ensure the security of insensitive data in order to provide complete security over database services and to enhance performance during the encryption process for sensitive data. That's all for our work. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad and his colleagues for this paper and for the presentation. We are ready to take if there's any queries or questions. for the presenter.
Thank you, Dr. Saif.
You're welcome, Dr.
Thank you.
If there's no questions, we will go to the fourth paper, or to the sixth paper, entitled Relational on NoSQL Databases, the Appropriate Database Model Choice. This paper is presented or authored by Professor Muhammad Hassan, and as he asked, we will play the recording for the presentation, because Dr. Hassan, Professor Hassan is busy, as he said right now, and we will contact him to take if there's any questions later on. Go ahead, break and play the presentation, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everybody. I'm Muhammad Hassan from Zarqa University, Jordan. Please allow me to share my presentation. My paper title is Relational and NoSQL Databases, the Appropriate Database Model Choice. We will go through a quick introduction, then the advantages and the limitation of relational databases will be introduced. The NoSQL databases, types, features, challenges also will be introduced, and we will conclude with choosing the appropriate database model. As we know, for over 4 decades, relational database management system is the dominant, actually, database model for data storage and retrieval and management. However, the continuous growth in current organization and the increasing need for scalability and performance, especially while handling very huge amount of data generated by new generation real-time application or social networking that could have the unstructured or semi-structured data poses a set of challenges to the existing relational database vendors. So such challenges have created a need for adoption alternative technology in the field of data storage and manipulation. NoSQL technology is the alternative category of such database management system that introduced as a solution to the ever-growing data requirements. As we know, there are many database models. Among all of these models, relational databases is the dominant one since it was introduced in 1997 by code. Relational are highly structured. The tables are related with primary foreign keys, as we know. Constraints also could be applied to these data within tables. And the major vendors, Microsoft, SQL, DBT, Oracle, and etc. So, the main advantages of relational could be summarized as the following: flexibility, simplicity, ease of data retrieval, and data integrity. Also, abstraction, multi-user access, automatic optimizing for searching. A single uniform data definition is used for different roles. Also, a single standardized language is used for different relational databases. Also, it supported ACID properties or constraints, where each of these properties guarantees stability, security, and contribute to the ability of transaction to ensure it. In the meanwhile, there are some challenges and some disadvantages with relational databases management system, and could be stated as follows. They do not support high scalability, not capable of handling exponential growth of data. Setting and maintaining maintaining relational is complex and expensive, even money-wise. Some difficulty regarding the store large amount of information in a fixed length fields. Also, data cannot be easily encapsulated. It's difficult to share information from one database to another, especially with complex databases. SQL cannot handle unstructured, this is a major actually problem, cannot handle unstructured data like documents, email, multimedia, social media efficiently. Also working with shared relational or multiple data could result difficulties regarding performance issues and data integrity. So all of these shortcoming and limitation have led big companies to introduce or to search for non-relational databases, which also commonly known as not only SQL, that can handle web scale system and big data system. NoSQL are the new generation of databases that mainly addressing the following properties. It's being non-relational, open source. The aim of developing NoSQL is to handle modern web scale databases and cloud application, which began early 2009, and it's of course growing rapidly. There are many features of such database models. The most important, it can handle and retrieve semi-structured and unstructured data very efficiently, as well as structured data. The main features of NoSQL could be stated as follows. It's non-relational. Okay, neither support SQL as their query languages. It's distributed. It's open source. Okay, free to download, unlike most of relational databases. The most important is it's horizontally scalable. So it has ability to scale horizontally by increasing or decreasing multiple servers to meet the data processing capacity. It's also has schema-free and simple interfaces. Most of NoSQL provide an easy and simple interfaces for data collection and network delivery. There are different approaches for classifying NoSQL data bases into different categories. The most common used classification are key value, document, column family, and graph databases. Of course, there are much more classification. All of these types are presented in the paper with a short description and feature of each type. Some of the main challenges with NoSQL could be stated as follows. These databases do not support ACID. They actually compromise reliability for performance. Also, there is no uniformity and no specific programming interface among the different NoSQL databases. Such databases use different query languages. Many NoSQL are considered immature, so it's difficult in maintenance and not good at spreading the database across multiple nodes. In many NoSQL databases, security is lower than relational databases, and this is an important issue actually. So in order to choose or to advise the user to select the appropriate database model, it's important to select carefully the appropriate model for enterprise or the application we intend to create. Many factors should be taken into consideration for such selections. Some of these, the type and the amount of data, where small and medium application relational could be reasonable choice. Schema characteristic and the transaction amount are also important factors. The cost, where it's a big advantage for most of NoSQL since they are open source solution. Database administrator or IT specialist should decide using traditional or using NoSQL according to their needs. They should also choose the appropriate type or category according to the format and feature of enterprise. They should then select the specific database system according to the characteristics of each database they need for the enterprise, as well as the popularity and the feedback about each database on websites. In general, if the data is document unstructured or semi-structured with advanced query feature, or if the data is schemaless or the schema is continuously changing while the consistency is preferred over availability, then use NoSQL database. On the other hand, if the data is structured data or it's extremely relational, while high availability is preferred over consistency, then do not use NoSQL database. So finally, let's look at a recent statistic regarding the popularity of database models, which may give an important indicator about the importance of NoSQL databases. In October 2021, the top database according to database engine ranking put the top among the top 10 databases, 4 of them are NoSQL databases. This could be Mongo, Redis, Elasticsearch, and Cassandra. The growth of NoSQL databases is happening against the slowing in the relational database model. Even though NoSQL database keep winning, compared enterprise are keeping their relational databases around relational databases, still dominant big data, and will do for quite some time. And this is the graph that show the top most popular databases. And as we see, Mongo, Redis, Elasticsearch, and Cassandra are among those top databases. Thank you.
Thanks, Prof. Mohammed, for the presentation. And I don't know if he's with us or not to take questions. If anyone have a question. Mr. Mohammed Hassan, are you with us? Well, we will go to the next paper, which is the second paper from UAE, and it's about simulation study for speed control at congested and arms of rounds. The
Roundabout is a type of intersection.
I think
yeah, just go ahead, please, and play the recording.
yeah, as requested,
Yeah.
the author of this paper is Ahmed Shitnaw, Abdul Rauf Dirin, Muhammad Zinati, وقتيبة Tibyan. As requested, we'll go ahead with the pre-recorded presentation, and then I think one of the presenters is with us.
Yeah, I'm here with you. Yeah.
Go ahead, break and play the recording, please.
In this presentation, we'll talk about a simulation study of speed control at congested arms of roundabouts. Roundabouts are introduced at intersections to improve traffic safety and efficiency. A roundabout is a type of intersection where traffic flows in one direction around a central island. The flow priority is given to the vehicles within the roundabout. However, traffic congestion at roundabout is becoming a troubling issue that traffic engineers must address more seriously. Several factors were shown to affect the performance of roundabouts that include their geometrical features and driving behaviors. Several studies were conducted to evaluate the performance and capacity of roundabouts using different metrics such as the radius of the roundabout, traffic volumes, and traffic flow rates. The finding of these studies suggests that the performance of roundabouts is greatly affected by their geometrical design and the driving behaviors. Despite the promising results of these studies, none of them has investigated the effect of speed control on the performance of roundabouts. In this work, we investigate the effect of speed control at congested arms on the capacity of roundabouts. To this effect, we have designed a simulation study using the microscopic traffic simulator, SUMO. To evaluate the effect of speed control on the performance of roundabouts, we performed two simulation scenarios using Sumo. We used a roundabout with 4 arms that connect 4 incoming and 4 outgoing flow directions for both scenarios. In this work, we used the NetEdit 1.9.2 to create the traffic network with its routes, and also we used a simplified version of the roundabout where all the arms are assumed to have only 2 lanes. In the first scenario, the right arm has 40% of the traffic, while the other 60% of the traffic is equally distributed across the 3 other arms. In the second scenario, 60% of the traffic is distributed equally on the left and right arms, while the remaining 40% are distributed evenly on the top and the bottom arms. To define these scenarios in Sumo, we used the file randomtrips.py, which is provided by the Sumo installation. For both simulation scenarios, we executed the simulation schema 10 times using 1,000 vehicles, and we recorded the total travel time, which is the average total time vehicles spend to reach their destinations, measured in seconds, and the waiting time, which is the average time in which the vehicle speeds were below or equal 0.1 meter per second, and the time loss, which is the average time lost by vehicles due to driving below their ideal speeds. As shown in these figures, the total travel time decreases as the speed factor increases at the congested arms. This is to be expected as the increased speeds for part of the traffic minimizes the travel time. Nevertheless, the decrement becomes marginal in the case of 125% and 150% speed factors, especially in the case of the 2 congested arms. For instance, the figure on the left shows that the total travel time in the case of the 1 congested arm decreases by 10% after increasing the speed factor on the congested arm from 100% to 125%. However, in the case of increasing the speed factor from 125% to 150%, the total travel time decreases by only 2.8%. In the case of the 2 congested arms, increasing the speed factor from 100% to 125% reduces the travel time by 3.8%, while incrementing the speed factor from 125% to 150% lowers the travel time by only 1.3%. In general, the results given in these figures show that increasing the speed on congested arms of the roundabout can minimize the total travel time. However, after a certain threshold, the improvement becomes marginal. As more arms become crowded, the increment threshold becomes smaller. The results also show that for the same traffic volume, the total travel times in the case of the 1 congested arm are lower than for that of the 2 congested arms for all of the simulated speed factors. This observation leads us to conclude that the traffic volume on the arms of the roundabouts are an essential factor that must be considered in designing future adaptable plans for improving the efficiency of roundabouts. As with the situation in the case of the total travel time, an increase in the speed factor minimizes the average waiting time of vehicles. Furthermore, the decrement in the waiting time becomes marginal after reaching a certain threshold. The given results also show that the average waiting time in the case of the 1 congested arm are less than the average waiting times in the case of the 2 congested arms for all the simulated speed factors. The results also indicate that the difference between the waiting times in the cases of the 1 and the 2 congested arms becomes larger as the speed factor increases. In conformance with the total travel time and waiting time results, increasing the speed factor minimizes the travel time loss. Moreover, after raising the speed factor above a certain threshold, any improvement in time loss becomes marginal. The results show that the time lost in the case of the 1 congested arm is less than for that the time lost in the 2 congested arms for all values of the simulated speed factors. This observation fosters our previous findings that the distribution of traffic volumes on the arms of of a roundabout is a major factor affecting its performance. To conclude, in this paper we presented a simulation study to investigate the effect of speed control at congested arms on the performance of roundabouts. Our results indicate that increasing the speed on the roundabout's congested arms by a certain threshold helps improve the traffic flow and minimizes the travel time. Moreover, the result shows that the distribution of traffic volumes on the arms of the roundabouts affects its performance. Our future work includes investigating dynamic techniques that adjust the speed regulations on roads to adapt to the highly dynamic traffic conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. You are?
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm with you. Yes. Any question?
Okay. What is the solution you are proposing?
Yeah, currently we are investigating an adaptive displays that can adjust the speeds according to the traffic volumes. What we are trying to do is we are planning to compute like an optimal speed that can enhance the performance at roundabouts. So we are proposing a dynamic displays like LCDs or whatever it is that we can perceive the traffic volumes and the directions, and from that we can compute like an optimal speeds that will improve the efficiency of the roundabouts or enhance the capacity and the traffic flow.
طيب السؤال يمكن يكون مرتبط بالراوند اباوت ايهما افضل في رايك في التقاطعات الراوند اباوت او الاشارات؟
Yeah, it depends on the traffic volume. Actually, some certain studies suggest that up to a certain threshold, the roundabouts outperforms the traditional traffic lights. But with larger traffic volumes, the roundabout's performance will go bad and more chaos and more congestion. So the traffic lights with larger traffic volumes will outperform the roundabouts.
And is there any difference in the on the calculation of movement in the roundabout as the lines increase or decrease?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat your question?
I mean, is there any difference in timing and in pressure when the roundabout is big, have maybe 4?
Yeah. Exactly. The geometry of the roundabout greatly affects the traffic performance. That's for sure. But the problem here is we cannot adjust the geometry. We are our solution, or what we are trying to do, is we have this fixed geometry of the roundabout. We cannot like control that. This is out of our control. So what we are trying to do is to compute the speeds on the arms of the roundabouts that can improve the traffic, because the geometry we cannot change. If you enlarge the geometry, that will allow that will give the vehicles like more space for the maneuvers and all these stuff. So that will enhance the performance of the roundabout for sure. But that's the problem, is that we cannot like play with the geometry. This is something like hard to do. We need to do like physical like work. So what we're trying to do is just like propose an intelligent systems that just like deal with the current traffic conditions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is there any other inquiries from the audience? If not, then we will move to the next paper. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, you and your colleagues. The last paper in this session is entitled "The Reality of Using Open Source Integrated Library System in Omani Academic Libraries." The author of this paper are Farida Tawfi, Gamal Salmi, and Ahmed Shahata. Farida will present. Are you with us, Farida?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته to everyone. As I've submit my paper in Arabic, so I'll be presenting in Arabic inshallah.
تفضلي. العربية والإنجليزية كلها لغاتنا.
Thank you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الورقة بعنوان واقع استخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية. الورقة من إعداد فريد الطوقي، الدكتور جمال السامي، والدكتور أحمد ماهر شهاب. إن شاء الله راح أتكلم عن مقدمة الدراسة، ملخص الدراسات السابقة، منهجية الدراسة، وأخيراً عرض لملخص نتائج الدراسة والتوصيات. في مقدمة الدراسة بشكل سريع نتكلم عن مشكلة الدراسة. طبعاً على الرغم من ظهور وتزايد نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر واستمرار إجراء التعديلات والإضافات التي تخدم حاجة المكتبات بشكل عام والمكتبات الأكاديمية بشكل خاص، إلا أن واقع إحلال هذه النظم في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية لم يظهر بشكل واسع، فضلاً عن زيادة الإنفاق في شراء النظم التجارية لإدارة المكتبات وطلب الدعم الفني من الشركات التجارية. أما بالنسبة لأهداف الدراسة، فكان الهدف الرئيسي للدراسة التعرف على واقع استخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر بالمكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية، كما تضمنت الدراسة أهداف فرعية، منها التعرف على مدى وعي متخذي القرار واختصاصيي المعلومات في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية بمفهوم النظم مفتوحة المصدر، وأهمية استخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر والمزايا التي تقدمها. كما سعت الدراسة على التعرف على مدى تقبل متخذي القرار واختصاصي المعلومات لإحلال هذه النظم في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية، التعرف على العوامل المحفزة لاستخدام هذه النظم، وأخيراً التعرف على التحديات التي تواجه المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية في استخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر. كما جاءت أسئلة الدراسة انعكاساً لأهداف الدراسة. ننتقل إلى ملخص الدراسات السابقة. في ملخص الدراسات السابقة أشارت الدراسات إلى تعدد استخدامات هذه الأنظمة من قبل مختلف أنواع المكتبات، لنجد جملة من الدراسات السابقة تشير إلى تقبل واستخدام المكتبات الأكاديمية لهذه النظم خاصة من قبل الدول النامية، كما أشارت دراسات أخرى إلى عكس ذلك. بالنسبة للعوامل المحفزة، أشارت الدراسات السابقة لوجود مجموعة من العوامل المحفزة لاستخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر، منها المرونة، سهولة توفرها، سهولة استخدامها، حماية أمنية عالية، توفر الدعم الفني بصورة كبيرة، سرعة الاستجابة، وأنها منخفضة التكلفة، مقارنة طبعا بالنظم التجارية التي تعد ذات كلفة عالية، توفر المرونة، الدعم من قبل المقابل المادي، أو أنها محتكرة للمؤسس فقط، واستجابة بطيئة للتعديلات، إضافة إلى حماية أمنية عالية. أما بالنسبة للتحديات، فتحدثت الدراسات السابقة عن جملة من التحديات، أهمها تحديات في إطار الوعي والمعرفة، تحديات في إطار التثبيت والتشغيل، في إطار توفر دليل المستخدم. كما تحدثت أيضا دراسات سابقة عن تحديات في إطار التعديل والتطوير وإطار الدعم الفني والصيانة. ننتقل للمنهجية التي اتبعتها الدراسة الحالية. اتبعت الدراسة الحالية المنهج النوعي، كما استرشدت الدراسة بنموذج قبول التكنولوجيا تام، مفتاحا للبحث فيما يتعلق بمدى التقبل والعوامل المحفزة والتحديات. أما بالنسبة لمجتمع الدراسة، فكان يتكون من متخذي القرار، اختصاصيي المعلومات، والفنيين من 63 مكتبة بنسبة 29 مكتبة أكاديمية خاصة و34 مكتبة أكاديمية حكومية. أما العينة، فاستعانت الدراسة بالعينة القصدية، حيث تكونت عينة الدراسة من 16 مكتبة أكاديمية حكومية وخاصة بنسبة 25%. الجدول واحد يوضح تفاصيل العينة المشمولة بالدراسة. فكان إجمالي المشاركين 27 مشارك، انقسموا إلى 7 اختصاصي معلومات، 4 موظفي فنيين، و16 متخذ قرار. كما استعانت الدراسة بأداتين لجمع البيانات. الأداة الأولى مقابلات فردية شبه مفتوحة، كانت للفئة الأولى التي تمثلت في متخذي القرار. أما الأداة الثانية فكانت مجموعات الفوكس جروب التي تمثلت في الفئة الثانية المهنيين والفنيين. أجرينا مقابلتين فوكس جروب. المقابلة الأولى تكونت من فني واحد و4 اختصاصي معلومات، والمقابلة الثانية تكونت من 3 اختصاصي معلومات. ننتقل لعرض ملخص نتائج الدراسة والتوصيات. بالنسبة للهدف الرئيسي الأول، واقع استخدام نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر في المكتبات الأكاديمية، فأشارت نتائج الدراسة لوجود تعدد لأنواع النظم المستخدمة في إدارة العمليات المكتبية في المكتبات الأكاديمية، حيث تبين وجود 8 مكتبات تستخدم نظما تجارية عالمية، مكتبتين تستخدمان نظم تجارية مطورة محلية، مكتبة واحدة تستخدم نظام محلي مطور من قبل فنية المؤسسة الأكاديمية، و5 مكتبات مطبقة لنظم العالمية مفتوحة المصدر. إلا أن واقع استخدام هذه النظم لا يزال في مراحله الأولية في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية، حيث أن عدد المكتبات المطبقة كان أقل من نصف العينة المشمولة في الدراسة، إضافة إلى أن المكتبات المطبقة لهذه النظم توجهت لتطبيق النظام ذاته، ألا وهو نظام كوها، على الرغم من وجود أكثر من 11 نظام مفتوح المصدر يستخدم من قبل الدول الأخرى. بالنسبة لهدف مدى وعي متخذي القرار، فاتضح انخفاض مستوى الوعي لدى معظم المشاركين، حيث ربط بعض متخذي القرار في المكتبات المطبقة والغير مطبقة عملية اتخاذ القرار للتحول لهذه النظم بالعجز في الجانب المالي للمؤسسة الأكاديمية، بالإضافة لعدم وعيهم بإمكانيات ومزايا نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر، كان من ضمن الأسباب لعدم التوجه نحو تطبيق هذه النظم ولتراجع إحدى المكتبات. وأشار المشاركون إلى الأدوار التوعوية التي تمثلت في أنها أدوار تشاركية تكاملية تقع على عاتق المؤسسة الأكاديمية والأفراد العاملين المتمثلة في الإدارات العليا ومتخذي القرار والمكتبيين، إضافة إلى الأدوار التوعوية التي تلعبها الجهات الحكومية والجمعيات المختصة بالمكتبات المتمثلة في وزارة النقل والاتصالات وجمعية المعلومات وتقنية المعلومات والجمعية العمانية للمكتبات والمعلومات. بالنسبة لمدى تقبل متخذي القرار، اتضح أن سياسة المؤسسة نحو تبني هذه النظم لها دور كبير في مدى تقبل متخذي القرار واختصاصي المعلومات لإحلال واستخدام هذه النظم في المكتبات الأكاديمية العمانية، بالإضافة إلى اعتماد المكتبات المطبقة لنظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر على النظام في العمليات المكتبية الأساسية. كما اتضح أيضا أن التوجهات المستقبلية نحو التحول لنظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر للمكتبات الغير مطبقة والمكتبات التي تراجعت. أشارت الدراسة إلى وجود مجموعة من العوامل المحفزة لاستخدام هذه النظم، منها العوامل المالية، وأنها نظم متكاملة سهلة الاستخدام، نظم غير محتكرة، إمكانية التعديل والتطوير، الاستدامة والتوافق مع التوجهات الحديثة. أما بالنسبة للتحديات التي أشارت إليها نتائج الدراسة، فتبين وجود تحديات فنية وتحديات أمنية وبشرية وإدارية. بالنسبة للتحديات الفنية كانت تحدثت عن هجرة البيانات إلى نظام المكتبات المتكامل مفتوح المصدر، برمجة النظام والتحديث، توفر الدعم الفني، مستوى الاستجابة للدعم الفني. أما بالنسبة للتحديات البشرية فاتضح وجود عدم تقبل للتغيير، قلة في الكوادر البشرية، عدم التعرف على التجارب الناجحة للمكتبات المطبقة. أما بالنسبة للتحديات الإدارية فاتضح وجود تحدي في آلية اتخاذ القرار وعدم الثقة بإمكانيات الكوادر العمانية. ننتقل أخيراً إلى أهم التوصيات التي خرجت منها الدراسة. أولاً، تفعيل أدوار التوعية لنشر الوعي بأهمية التحول نحو نظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر متخذي القرار والمكتبيين، بعقد ندوات والمؤتمرات والمزيد من الورش التعريفية بشأن هذه النظم، مع ضرورة عرض التجارب الناجحة للمكتبات المطبقة. تقديم التشجيع والحوافز من قبل وزارة النقل والاتصالات وتقنية المعلومات للمؤسسات الأكاديمية العمانية بضرورة تبني النظم مفتوحة المصدر، وذلك من خلال توفير الدورات والورش التدريبية وتوفير الدعم الفني الخاص بهذه النظم. حث الجمعية العمانية للمكتبات والمعلومات على الإسهام بأنشطة وفعاليات مختلفة تسهم في تعزيز حركة النظم مفتوحة المصدر وإيجاد الوعي بين المختصين في المكتبات، لما لها من أدوار وآثار واضحة قيمة من المفيد جدا الأخذ بها. تأسيس مجموعة من فنيي المكتبات سواء الحكومية أو الخاصة لتقديم الدعم الفني بالتعاون مع مركز التميز للبرمجيات الحرة ومفتوحة المصدر وشركة ويبرو وبدوره سيسهم في توفير الدعم الفني وزيادة إمكانية التحول لنظم المكتبات المتكاملة مفتوحة المصدر. دراسة إمكانية قيام وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار بتوحيد النظام المستخدم في إدارة المكتبات، سواء كانت نظم تجارية أو نظم مفتوحة المصدر، لدى المكتبات الأكاديمية بالسلطنة ذات الأحجام المتشابهة أو الأنواع المتشابهة، بهدف تحقيق التشارك في الخبرات الفنية بين اختصاصي الفنيين وفنيي المكتبات. أخيراً، تأسيس منصة مدارة من قبل الجمعية العمانية للمكتبات والمعلومات توفر تفاصيل النظم المستخدمة لدى جميع أنواع المكتبات العمانية، الأمر الذي سيسهم في تسهيل عملية اتخاذ القرار للتحول نحو النظام الذي يتناسب مع متطلبات واحتياجات المكتبة. نهاية العرض، شكراً لحسن الاستماع.
شكراً فريدة.
عفواً دكتور.
في أسئلة من المشاركين؟ هل في أي سؤال؟ طيب فريدة، بالنسبة الفيدباك اللي أخذتوها، أنت قلتي إنه التكلفة هي كانت السبب الرئيسي للتوجه إلى برامج مفتوحة المصدر. هل تظني أن البرامج مفتوحة المصدر يعني إذا جينا إلى التكلفة هي أقل بكثير من البرامج التجارية؟ لأن في المقابل أنت تحتاج إلى يعني دعم فني قوي، يا إما من خلال شركة خارجية أو خدمة خارجية، أو من خلال تكوين وحدة دعم فني قوي بالمؤسسة. فهل هذا يقلل التكلفة في رأيك؟
هو دكتور، احنا لو تكلمنا كنظام، أولا النظام التجاري يحتاج لشراء، سواء كان شراء للنظام أو شراء للدعم الفني. أما بالنسبة للنظم مفتوحة المصدر فهي نظم متوفرة من خلال الإنترنت، يمكن تحميلها مجانا، هذا أول شيء. الدعم الفني يعتمد على حجم المؤسسة والعمليات المدارة في المكتبة، فإذا كان الدعم بحجم المؤسسة حجم كبير، ممكن يعني فنيين المؤسسة يقوم يعني تقديمهم لورش ترفع من مستوى إمكانيتهم في تقديم الدعم الفني، مما يقلل الاعتماد على الدعم الفني المقدم من قبل الشركات التجارية. طبعا هذه الأشياء تحدث بالتدريج، ما ممكن يعني نعتمد على نظام مفتوح المصدر ودعم فني مؤسسي دون الاستعانة بالدعم الفني الخارجي كبداية عند تطبيق النظام مفتوح المصدر. في المستقبل ممكن نستغنى عن الدعم التجاري ونعتمد على الدعم الفني المقدم من قبل المؤسسة. بهذه الطريقة نحن نقلل التكلفة والضغط على المؤسسات التي تعتمد على النظم التجارية.
بالنسبة للأنظمة المستخدمة في المكتبات في السلطنة، برأيك العزوف عن استخدام أو الانتقال إلى مصادر مفتوحة المصدر، هل هو بسبب نقص الخبرات؟ هل نقص الخبرات الفنية سواء كان من المتخصصين في المكتبات؟ لأنه إذا تكلمنا عن الدعم الفني، يعني المتخصصين في الاي تي فقط بدون لايبرري باك جراوند قد ما يكون عندهم كما تقول الخبرة الكافية انهم يديروا نظام مكتبات. انك تحتاج لشخص يكون عنده على الاقل مالتي سبيشاليتي ولا خبرة في مجال المكتبات، حتى لو كان عنده اي تي باك جراوند. فهل تعتقدي ان الخبرة او نقص الخبرة الكافية هي السبب في العزوف عن برامج مفتوحة المصدر؟
هو دكتور، من ضمن الأسباب كانت الخبرة، بالإضافة إلى أن متخذي القرار ثقتهم بالكوادر يعني ليست قوية، ما قادرين يعتمدوا على الكوادر الموجودة ككادر فني يقدم دعم فني. فممكن يعني اختصاص المعلومات بالإضافة إلى الفني يعملوا جنبا لجنب على أساس يقدموا الدعم الفني للنظام المطبق في المكتبة.
لكن لما نتكلم عن نظام مكتبة كبيرة مثلا مثل مكتبات جامعة سلطان قابوس اللي هي كل 7 أو 8 مكتبات كلها تشتغل بنظام واحد، ما مدى الطاقة التشغيلية اللي يحتاجها نظام مفتوح المصدر؟ نتكلم عن الفنيين، لأن كما ذكرت أنت إن كان في تراجع، وأظنك أنك تقصدي الجامعة، لأن كان فعلا في فترة محددة كانت توجه إلى اقتناء برنامج مفتوح المصدر، كانت الاستعدادات في هذا الاتجاه، لكن في لحظة معينة تم يعني إدارة الدفة إلى وجهة أخرى.
هو دكتور مثل ما أنا وضحت دكتور أن الدعم الفني كبداية عند تطبيق نظام مفتوح المصدر ممكن الاعتماد على شركة خارجية تقدم الدعم الفني، وأنا عندي نماذج لمؤسسات أكاديمية طبقت نظام مفتوح المصدر اعتمدت كبداية على دعم فني تجاري أو دعم فني خارجي بغض النظر إذا كان داخل السلطنة أو خارج السلطنة. من خلال التعاون هذا صار يعني تحويل من الدعم الفني التجاري للدعم الفني المؤسسي، يعني اعتمدوا على الفنيين الموجودين في المؤسسة، فالانتقال يصير بالتدريج. يعني ممكن أنا أطبق نظام مفتوح المصدر وأعتمد على دعم فني داخلي فقط أو مؤسسي فقط، لازم يكون في تعاون حتى يتم الانتقال الكلي إلى نظام مفتوح المصدر وضمان استمرارية هذا النظام.
بعد لا تنسي أن في جانب آخر، هي ليست مسألة تشغيل النظام فقط، لكن مسألة تطوير النظام، لأنه عندك على سبيل المثال في الاي تي فيلد كل حاجة تتغير وتتطور. اللي تحتاج المؤسسة ما فقط شخص يدير النظام ويكون شغال، بل يحتاجوا إلى كادر قادر أنه يعني يطور هذا النظام تماشيا مع التطورات، سواء كانت في تخصص المكتبات والمعلومات، في المصادر التي تتوفر وسوف تتوفر، في التقنيات التي يعني يتم استحداثها وتطويرها بين فينة وأخرى. فهذا أيضا يجب أنها تؤخذ في الحسبان، يعني إذا كان يعني توجهنا هذا التوجه. شكرا جزيلا لك فريدة على هذا العرض الممتاز وعلى التوضيح. في أحد عنده تعليق أو استفسار أو إضافة عن فيما قدم، سواء عن ورقته أو عن أي ورقة أخرى؟ نحن ما زال عندنا 10 دقائق من وقت الجلسة، فإذا أي أحد من المتحدثين عنده زيادة أو تعليق أو سؤال، the floor is open. وإذا لم يكن هناك أي ملاحظات أو أي تعليق أو استفسار، نود نشكركم شكرا جزيلا على مشاركتكم في هذه الجلسة وعلى التزامكم بالحضور والبقاء في الجلسة وعرض أوراقكم التي استفدنا منها كثيرا وتبادل الخبرات التي حصل في هذه الجلسة. شكرا جزيلا لكم. شكرا دكتور بشير. Thank you Dr. Bashir for your presence and for your presentation. والشكر موصول لجميع المتحدثين سواء اللي عرضوا أو اللي شاركوا في الأوراق ولم يتمكنوا من الحضور والعرض. شكرا جزيلا لكم، ونتمنى إن شاء الله تعالى لكم قضاء وقت سعيد ويومكم طيب إن شاء الله.
شكرا دكتور، ما قصرت.
شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا دكتور.
ننهي بحمد